I am up and recording. Everything is live. And boom. Okay. Yeah, we're good to go.
We'll just wait for a couple people.
All right. Those of you who are going to trickle in right now, welcome. We have Mr. Niall McCabe on the show tonight. Yay. We are missing Matt, and we'll probably reiterate this later, but Matt's tire on his car is not just blown or popped or has a hole in it. His tire is gone.
Shredded.
Obliterated.
Exploded.
Yeah. So, and he's fine. He made it to whatever destination it was that he had. AAA came and helped him, and yeah, everything's fine except for his tire. And I hope that his rim's okay. But
yeah, hope he was okay, thankfully.
Oh yeah. He said that he broke down at a Dairy Queen. We're like, you okay? Are you gonna be able to get to where you need to go? He's like, yeah, I'm just stuck at Dairy Queen.
Nice. What time is it? It's
about 7:37.
1 second. Because it actually takes like a minute for it to begin to actually, like there's a little bit of a lag.
Yeah, I'm kind of like watching it to see what the delay time is. You know, so
it's like 13 seconds.
About 13 to 15 seconds.
I was
right?
like 15 seconds or so.
Shauna has entered the room.
Hi, Shauna. She's the best.
Shauna is the vice president of the Louisville Cougars.
Keep everybody in line.
Oh, man.
Which I'm sure she will. This looks like, check, 1, 2, just making sure. Hello. Oh, there you go. It's fine.
Evening, gentlemen. There's Miss Kathy.
Hi, Kathy.
Yeah, we've just got people trickling in right now. We've got Mr. Niall McCabe sitting over there.
And we do not have Matt. Matt had a issue with his car. A bad issue.
Those of you just coming in, there is a slight chance that Mr. George Davis will show up, but
we'll see.
That is a impromptu thing, and he has things to do, so we don't know,
See what happens. Might have other people. There's a couple other guys that may show up just for the heck of it.
That would be fun.
Herman said he would just come by.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I love Herman.
Herman, have I told you about Herman's buffalo wings?
No.
Oh, man.
Are they that good?
Herman makes some buffalo wings.
He cooks
dude.
anything I've ever. Yes. You know what you're saying that? I think I may have had him on Christmas once.
Well, we have the
little Christmas music going.
Oh, love that.
Nice, right?
We have we have I have a WrestleMania party every year. Yes. I love wrestling now, so it's like
I used to love it as a kid.
Oh man, but I have WrestleMania is normally oh man, I'm gonna forget, but I think it's normally in April, and I have a big party at my apartment or wherever I'm living. For the last 3 years, it's been here. But I have like a dozen to 20 people that come over here, and I cook for all of them. And we watch WrestleMania. We have a betting pool, and everybody brings over food. I normally have more food in here. I have enough food to feed like a kid's classroom. It's insane. And Herman always brings over these buffalo wings, and they're delicious.
Yeah. No, I grew up on it, and I was big into it, like in the Attitude Era,
Oh yeah,
see, that's when I checked out.
The Rock and Stone Cold.
I'm a lot older than you are, but the second they started doing that, I was like,
I was loving it.
Were you really?
I follow like 90s WWE on.
Did you see? I sent the link. Did you see that? Did you watch that?
Which
I
one?
sent it in our chat. It was a 1992 not a Royal Rumble.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
1992 Battle Royale.
I saw it.
It was like the first time The Undertaker had ever done a Battle Royale. But Hulk Hogan was in it. And all these older dudes, like the Big Boss Man.
Oh, man. Big Boss Man was one of my favorites. He'd come out with that nightstick. And
I got all the brothers, and they were like grew up in that time, and I like with Hulk Hogan and Big Boss Man.
Hogan. I remember when Hogan first came in. That's how old I am.
Well, no, my mom and my Aunt Connie took me to Louisville Gardens.
Right, the old gardens.
And the old gardens. And we watched, I don't even think that they had a name for their shows back then, but it was like Hulk Hogan. I got to see like Junkyard Dog and Hillbilly Jim, who was awesome.
He was huge.
He's from like Paducah or something. Yeah. Oh man, those were the good times.
I just remember being like terrified of the Legion of Doom.
Oh yeah, and Demolition, and
I was terrified of them.
And that's when the WWF was coming up with cheap imitations of what was going on. Because Demolition was a copy of Legion of Doom.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah,
You know?
but I got really hooked on Demolition for whatever.
Me, it was like Stone
Oh, yeah,
Cold,
there's
The
a-
Rock.
yeah.
Okay, so why don't we go ahead and start? Let me kill this music. I'll just put this
Yeah,
on like that.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Sorry about that. But we're going to go ahead and start because we edit this for anything. So 3, 2, 1. Hi, everybody. I'm Joe.
I'm Derek.
We're missing Matt, but we are the host of
Beats, Balls, and Bourbon,
the official video podcast of the Groove Machine, Louisville City supporter drumline, sponsored and members of the Coopers as well. Hopefully everybody had a great Thanksgiving. To my left is Niall McCade. Thank you so much for joining us, young man. He is a awesome player, and he's an awesome guy, and we are very happy that he's here. We may have a couple of other people trickling in later on, but first I'm going to go ahead and introduce, if you've never watched this before, Derek Davis. He is our commander-in-chief of, since we've been talking about elections and stuff, the commander-in-chief of our social media and engineering the show. How are you, sir?
I'm good. I'm doing real good. You know, I came up short for the presidency of the Louisville Coopers, but that's okay. A very talented and respected gentleman won over me. His name is Glenn, and everyone loves and knows him. Yes. And I wish him all the best. And there are more things to come, and the future's looking good. And you will definitely see my face within the Louisville Coopers. I just can't tell you in what. What's the word in what capacity? Capacity.
Yes.
So good stuff.
I'm having the worst time of my life right now. Although I'm not right now. I got off of that third shift stuff. Finally last week, and then I took a week off. Went up to Chicago. We'll talk about that in a second. Hung out with Jim Tosh, who I love, and Beverly, who I love, in their wonderful home. He's just such a great guy. We went to go see the Giants and the Bears play. And that was literally one of the worst experiences of my life, but it was one of the greatest experiences of my life. I'll tell you about that in a little bit. But before we go on, just let's take care of a little bit of business. We always mention the other shows. We have Barrel Proof podcast, the Cooper Show, which is always on. They always drop that about Tuesday morning. I think Ty's still doing that, and Ken Luther, and I'm pretty sure Taylor's still doing that as well. Some of the guys, all the Cooper dudes. In the House usually drops on Wednesday or Thursday. That's Andy and Evan. I've heard a horrible rumor that they may be ending that eventually, but we'll see what's happening with that because that's terrible because we love Evan and Andy.
They're just so busy.
Yes, they are. And then Saturday mornings you have the Soccer City Radio with Howie Lindsay and Kevin Kernan, that other guy that talks during the games. What's his name? Lance? Yeah, that guy.
McGarvey.
Lance McGarvey. So hopefully you all are checking that out as well. As you just mentioned, we had the Coopers board elections recently. Thank you to everybody that either tried to get elected or did get elected or didn't. Doesn't matter. I know they had a lot of people for the first time. This is by far probably the largest group that they've had trying to do elections. I want to thank you to Glenn Grummer. Congratulations to Glenn. He is the new president. Shauna Farmer, our own Shauna Farmer, is now the vice president. We're not sure about the Treasury thing yet because we'll see what happens with that. Anthony Leinert is once again returning as secretary. Matt Owens and Herman come back as representatives at large, also Groove Machine guys. Michelle Willoughby, Justin Mount, who has been a part of it. Dawn Cahill, which I don't know. I don't know Dawn. But I think she's
you've met her.
Yeah,
a couple
I've met
times,
her, and I just friended her on Facebook. So congratulations and welcome to her. And the last member, the new member, is me. I am now on the board, so I get to tell people what to do.
We have a 4 out of 9 Groove Machine board.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So that's pretty awesome. Talking about the mini marathon, we left that alone for a little while. We are going to be meeting Sunday at Saints at 12 o'clock. So please, if you're interested in doing that, went out and did 6.5 miles yesterday. My big ass did that.
Well, it's like I told you, I've been doing about 6,000 steps a day, but that's not even, it pales in comparison to what you're doing.
Yeah. So, but if I can do it and look at the shape I'm in right now, go ahead and please consider being a part of that with Harbor House. We are setting up a special fundraiser, or special meet and greet type of deal. Hopefully in January, we're having a meeting next week to discuss that. So hopefully you'll consider being a part of that as well. And we didn't do this yet. Special congratulations to Brianna and Patrick Arkenberg, Brianna Roby, who with their first arrival, I know they have Landon. Landon's a wonderful kid, but Luna, I believe, right? Luna's, yeah. So congratulations to them. That's pretty awesome. So, and before we go on with some fun stuff here, you may have to leave pretty soon. Right now, you don't know. He keeps checking his phone because you have a new edition on the way.
On the way, any day now.
Do you have any idea? I mean, did you check the sex or any of that stuff? Do you know? I mean,
we do. The first one we didn't. We waited until the day to kind of find out what the gender was. Not really into those reveals.
Right.
Oh, you don't want to kick a glass soccer ball?
Break your toe.
So we didn't find out with him, and it was great. Like not knowing him, then on the day it was a big surprise, and it was great. Awesome. But this time we decided we were going to find out. So
okay, so good, and looking forward to a happy and healthy delivery and a new member of the McCabe family. So that and an extended member of the Lucidi family.
There you go.
So there you go. So, but before we always have a little something before we start bothering our guests and asking you stuff. So here, Christmas music.
I don't know what you're doing. What are you doing?
We're going to do a little bit something different today. Okay? I'm going to give you an opinion that I have about something. And please feel free to agree or not agree. True or false on the following opinions. Now, if you have any thoughts about this, hashtag 3B podcast. I know I can see it on the screen someplace. Please give us your opinions on that. And we would really appreciate any input that you have. Or if you're part of the chat here, could you tell them a little bit about how being part of the chat thing here and what you have to do? Is that okay?
Yeah. So if you are in the chat right now, there's not a whole lot that you can do except for hit the follow button. The more people that hit that follow button, which I do want to say thank you, MaxPerson15. We do have a new follower already. The more follows we get, the better that it makes us look on Twitch. Well, we really want to be affiliates. We want to have the boons that Twitch offers for the users. Also, if you have Amazon Prime, once we are affiliates, you can subscribe to us with Prime for free. It's going to help the show out. I don't know if you guys know, but we do this show from my apartment, and we've made this look. It looks like a studio in my dining room, basically.
Do get a lot of compliments.
And we are going to put up. I'm going to put up a curtain in here. We've got more equipment that we'd like to put in here. And really, we're doing this for fun. We're spending our own money on it, so anything that you guys can do to help us is appreciated.
Very much so.
And so there's that. If you are in the chat, feel free to interact. You can ask questions. If I don't get to your questions right away, I will. It really just depends on kind of the format and what we're doing during the show. So
right, and if you're friended me on Facebook and you're watching the show and you'd like to send a comment directly in a message, do it. I'll try and add it in. So, but before we do that, before we start bothering Niall with all kinds of questions about Niall, it's all fun stuff. Don't worry about it. What we do is we always try to have a little bit of a skit. I'll tell you next week or 2 weeks from now, we do have a show scheduled for the 19th. It is a Christmas show, and we do have it. I don't want to tell you who it is yet, but we've got a couple hopefully super amazing guests. So we're looking forward to that. But I think Uncle Luigi's going to show up.
Oh man!
I think he's going to show up in a couple weeks too. So here we go. So I'm going to give these guys a personal opinion of mine. They're going to tell me whether it's true or false. Number one, other than Rogue One, there hasn't been a good Star Wars movie in 36 years.
Is this a true or false question?
It's up to you. Do you agree with that opinion or not?
Here's the thing. For the last few weeks, obviously, with everything that's been coming out with Star Wars and stuff like that, I have not seen a single Star Wars.
Really?
Oh, okay.
No, that's not. No. I know a lot of people that haven't seen.
But I've heard that they skip in time and stuff like that. So if you are, a fan of Star Wars, obviously they're so popular. I know they're very successful.
Right.
And I would like to give them a go. So where should I start?
I would start at the very beginning, man. I would start. The beginning's actually episode 4. Episode 4, which is A New Hope.
Do that order or by year they came out?
I always tell people to watch the originals first.
Yes, because they're so different. The first 3 really set the 3. That's really the heart of the whole story.
It's really the only way that you can tolerate the first 3.
It's kind of. I hate to say that. The first 3 are very.
They suck.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. My opinion is that other than Rogue One, which is amazing.
If you watch the original 3, if you watch those,
yeah,
that's one of the originals.
That's one of the originals.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you watch all 3 of the originals,
no, the originals are 4, 5, and 6. Episode 4, 5, and 6 are the originals.
But if you watch 4, 5, and 6, that makes you think, "Ooh, I'd really like to know what happened before this." And that's really the only way that you can tolerate the first.
You can tolerate the first one. Yes, basically.
If you want to learn some stuff.
Liam Neeson is in the beginning. He's actually, I thought he did a really good job. Liam Neeson is.
How many movies are there?
There's 8 altogether, and the 9th one comes out in 2 weeks.
The Mandalorian,
and that's the final
is
one.
it?
No, the Mandalorian is a
spin-off.
side spin-off type.
Okay.
But the final
movie,
movie,
Christmas Eve or something like that, right?
20th,
it's really close to Christmas. Yeah.
I thought they moved it up to the 30th, but
it might have been. I don't know.
Okay, yeah.
So anyway, we have a. What do you think? Yes or no?
I saw what you posted on Facebook. So
I can't.
I think that you're telling the truth.
Okay.
Mine, I'll get back to you on that question.
Yeah, Shauna says start with the Harrison Ford movie.
There you go. Thank you, Shauna. Number 2, turkey is a better option than chicken always.
That's false.
You know, okay.
I think that's false. There's a lot.
I love turkey.
Chicken. I completely agree.
Does turkey put you all to sleep?
The tryptophan is tryptophan.
It knocks me out.
It's like a trip.
It's a sedative. Absolute sedative.
Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man is the best Spider-Man.
True.
I agree with that.
I take it. Yeah,
I like the new movies, but they're not. Tobey Maguire, there was something special about him.
He was great.
He was.
I liked when he did emo Spider-Man.
Yeah, did he? I never saw that.
It was so funny.
He's the best one.
He is. Number 4, golf would be much more popular sport in the world, or would be the most popular sport in the world if you could tackle your opponent.
I would say false, but that would be hilarious.
Full contact golf.
I would like to see it as like a XFL type thing, you know, spin off of the NFL, you know, so you'll have like the PGA Tour and you have
they're gonna wear pads.
It's just watching golf on TV. It's just mind-numbing for me. I try, and I love golf. Don't get me wrong. It's just watching on TV. Just wait, and now he's up on the 4th. He's up on the tee. Let's wait. Let's watch him swing. Yeah,
That's all part of it, you know.
I
That's
guess.
all part of it.
I guess. Here you go. True or false? Don't worry. You can go ahead and let your new girlfriend check your cell phone. You've deleted everything you need to.
I'm gonna take true
because you kind of have a new girlfriend.
I have nothing to hide.
There you go.
Except for my browser history, but you know.
Yeah.
No, but you didn't catch
I'm just
that.
gonna move on. I'm not even because I'm getting a look like this. Yeah.
I mean, it's fine.
Okay. You can live a full and meaningful life never having watched 5 minutes of a Harry Potter movie. True or not true?
That's true.
We're trying to guess what your opinion is, right?
That's what I'm saying. These are my opinions.
I would say true. I like Harry Potter, but I'm like,
Yeah. Lord of the Rings is better.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I love Lord of the Rings.
Oh man, is that like one of those hot topics where they fight with each other?
It was when I was like
those movies
teenager. That was like
if you had seen them, if you had read the books first and then seen how they adapted the movies and did such a good job of it.
Hey, everybody in chat, is that a thing where if you say like Lord of the Rings is better than Harry Potter, do people start getting in verbal altercations over that?
Kaylee Kersey, I already know what Kaylee thinks because Kaylee is a Harry Potter freak. She absolutely loves it. Okay, now listen to the sentence before you answer this.
Okay.
Cats are cooler than dogs.
Cooler?
Cooler.
I wouldn't say they're cooler.
Okay.
False.
False? You think dogs are cooler?
I think dogs are so cool.
Dogs, I think, okay.
Up until I never gave cats any like respect. You know, I'm a dog guy, you know. However, they definitely do not give me any respect, like, you know. But I saw a video that went viral recently of the cat saving the kid from falling down the stairs.
Yes, from falling out the stairs.
Oh,
I saw that too.
And that's such a dog thing, you know. You see so many
dogs
stories of dogs like doing that, and I was like, yeah, a little bit of respect.
I had dogs when I was a kid. I love dogs. I love dogs. Like, the thing about cats is that you have to earn their respect. Okay, they think that they own you, but when you get that, they're just like the coolest animals in the world. They're just there's something about them.
I've always had cats. I don't have cats now.
When I went to Tosh's house last week, he's got 3 young kittens, and I went to bed the first night, and the one just jumped in the bed and was just like checking me out, you know. And he's like, or she was like, yeah, whatever, and just looking at me, and she's like, I'm deciding, I'm thinking about sleeping on the. All right, I'll hang out for a little bit. I gotta go now. You know, it's like. As opposed to dogs are like, I gotta go. Dogs are different. Okay, even though you know how this is a deep one. Even though you know how the story ends, you'd still go back in time and be King Leonidas.
Oh man.
You know who King Leonidas is?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, okay. Do you know who it is?
I don't yeah.
Even though you know how the story ends, because it ends pretty brutal, but he seems like a pretty cool dude.
Yeah.
I mean, he's king of Sparta.
Yeah, but I don't know, I think I would rather live to fight another day, you know?
Okay.
I'd rather go back and regroup, but that little snitch got him.
Yeah. But just, to be that badass, to get 300 people to join you in a fight like that, I mean, you got to be pretty badass to be able to do that.
Yeah, that's true.
Because they all knew they were going to die.
Oh, yeah.
They knew it, and they still lasted for a long, long time. Mm-hmm. And the real story is actually that did happen. Obviously not with all the crap in the movie. But that literally did happen, where the Persians literally tried to do that. And he literally pulled them into Thermopylae. So it's actually
It's funny you say, you know,
obviously I'm a history buff.
Yeah, last night I watched Gladiator last night for like the 10th time, and I got so deep into it that I started looking up the historical inaccuracies online.
Right,
is this accurate? And it's definitely not.
Yeah.
So.
So, and last but not least, do you agree with this opinion that Cincinnati will always be the worst city on the planet? You don't have to answer that. Well, if you want to, you can. But it's. I like Cincinnati. I enjoy going to Cincinnati. Every time I go to Cincinnati, I have a great time.
I've never
worst date of my life.
I'm not just saying this, but I've truly never had a good experience in Cincinnati.
Really? I love
I've always. I don't know if it's bad luck or what.
I
but,
really do. I enjoy it.
I never go up there, so.
Newport's
I've been to some.
Newport's
been to
better.
Some not so nice places. So
yeah, the 2 worst dates of my life were in Cincinnati. I'm not kidding. They are the most worst, the most unbelievable. I can't tell them. Should I tell one?
Dude, I don't know, man.
I know. I forget. I'll tell you some other time.
As long as it's Twitch 13.
Yeah, it's just anyway. Yeah, right. Exactly. But anyway, those are some questions, and if you have any thoughts on any of those, please #3B podcast. We like to think about things here. Niall, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, well,
How
very
are
welcome.
you, sir?
Doing well. Doing
Okay,
well.
We talked about the baby. You did get married this year.
I did.
So tell us a little bit about the whole ceremony and everything like that. And how was the challenge of doing that during the season?
Yeah, it was very challenging, because we have a whole off season to do what we want, basically, and I missed the game because of it, but basically it was because back home in Ireland they're quite strict on kids with school.
Okay.
Like letting them out or for an extended period of time, they're very, very strict with the parents, so
Yeah.
I got a bunch of brothers and sisters who have small kids and stuff who are in school, and for them to come out, first of all, close to Christmas and stuff, and they would be in school. So the only other option was in season, kind of.
Right.
Oh, man.
So I had months and months, over a year in advance. I'd pretty much when Hack got the job, I told him, and I mean he understood completely. So then I was kind of okay, that's fine, everything's good. So then I can start planning it. But then trying to plan a wedding when you're 6 hours away, it's tough. You have to go in there for small things, like cake tasting or.
And that's
flowers
and
stuff
what
like that,
where exactly was the
It was in Kennesaw,
Okay.
Kennesaw, Georgia. So
Wow.
it was pretty stressful for her, not so much me, because I was she let me just focus on football and stuff like that. So she's
You're a lucky man.
That's got to be.
She's
You
a
are a lucky
trooper
man.
now, and because I was
It's
missing
gotta
a
be a
game,
relief.
she went down and done all the cake testing with her mum and stuff like that. And
Okay.
I'm pretty easy to please, so it's yeah, does it taste good? Is it kind of sweet? Yeah, all right, then I'll probably eat it. So it's not a big deal. So she went down there, done all that, and then after the Loudon game, I believe, away, I headed down to kind of get everything ready and stuff. Had 4 or 5 days before the wedding down there to get stuff ready, and then
That's pretty awesome. And
it was
congratulations.
it was awesome.
So it's
it
so
went well.
you've been married for what now? About 8 months, 7, 8 months? For a while? Less than a year.
Less than a year.
Biggest adjustment getting married. What do you think?
Changing all the names
Okay.
was because it's just a hassle.
Just a lot of work to do, right?
It's just a hassle,
Right.
it was time for that,
Right.
because nothing itself was changed, but in
Mhm.
the confines of the relation, we're still the same.
Absolutely.
Nothing
And
has changed, but
right.
then there's just bureaucracy stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotta
That's
deal with,
exactly
and
it.
it's
That's
just-
what I
it's
always.
just not fun.
I never understood why the state actually does weddings. I mean, you have to do when I got married 850 years ago, and I got divorced 849 years ago, and it was just the amount of work that the state required. And this was New Jersey. I mean, the bureaucracy in New Jersey is unbelievable. And I mean, did you have to? I don't know. Kentucky. I mean, what was that all about? I mean, was it a lot of work to do that here? It seems like it's less. I don't know.
It wasn't. No, it wasn't bad.
Okay.
It was kind of the name stuff was. I could have done
whatever.
without that, but
Right. So now, I just wanted to say, and congratulations once again. I just wanted to congratulate you for the wedding and everything like that. I want to go back. I mean, you were born in Ireland, right? As a youth, and I'm trying to ask you stuff. I mean, everybody has heard a lot about you, and they should, because you've been such a tremendous member of this deal. As a youth, when did you start playing the game, and when did you start being like, man, I could do this?
I started playing as far back as I can remember. Like I said earlier, I have older brothers and stuff like that, and where I lived was just full of like kids everywhere, same age, older, younger, and football is the main. It's the main deal, you know. It's everything back home, so it's not like NFL or baseball or anything to kind of like dilute that. It's football for the most part where I was. So as far back as I can remember, I was playing just out in the street and stuff like that, wanting to join in with my brother and stuff like that, and him telling me no a lot. So I think that helped me a lot though, because obviously there was like a 7-year difference and stuff like that, so they were all way better when I was like 5 and stuff, you know. But I was always wanting to like join in, and I got to a point where I was able to join in with them, you know, and I was still way younger than them, so I was just always, it was as far back as I can remember, and as far as like I can do it, like I never thought that. Really? Never. Okay. I was never like, and even to this day, like you still have, not like, are you good enough? But like there's a,
it's kind of a surprise that you've doing what you're doing. Is that
you want to keep like pushing, you know, and everything that I've done so far, it's been great and stuff like that. But you kind of want more, you know. There's always like, I don't want to say doubt. I never doubted myself or anything like that. But there's something there that always like drove you on, you know.
Okay. I always went in when I started playing. I went into every season, every game. I always went in with like a chip on my shoulder. Like I went in and I'm like, look, I'm going to play this game the way I want to play it. You know, of course I'm going to listen to my coach and whatnot, but I went in with that mentality that if anybody comes at me, it's let's go. I never had like that feeling like I could really suck at this. You know, so like
it seems like a lot of people say
I was really hard headed.
There's no real light bulb moment that says I can do this professionally. I mean, a lot of people seem to say. I just like to ask people that because everybody seems to have a moment in their life where they're like, "This is my career now. Wow, you know, or I can do this. I can really do this." And you know, it depends on the person. This is actually I want to get one serious question out of the way, and it's not even that serious, but it is. Ireland's history. Okay, and then the reason, and I'll give you the reason why this is coming up. For the first year this year, not literally in Louisville, but around the country, there seems to be a little bit of the politics thing seems to be bleeding into the football stuff, and Ireland has a pretty heavy history when it comes to that kind of stuff, be it politics or the religious thing. How heavy was that in soccer in Ireland? I mean, did that really permeate through the culture, or was it more of a place to get away from it? You know what I'm saying? Did it really matter a whole lot?
Sometimes. It's hard for me to kind of like pinpoint, you know, how much, you know, because there's always like when you're growing up, it's like you have your team, you know, who you support, and when I support Liverpool, if you don't know, and
yes,
it's like Liverpool,
yes, I certainly do.
When I was like a kid, it was always like Liverpool or Man United, you know, that was like who people support, and it was big, but everybody was Celtic. Right. Everyone was like Celtic,
and everybody hated Rangers.
Yeah, right. You know, like that was like the rivalry,
and that's a very, very intense. Yeah, one of the world's most intense rivalries. It's unbelievable.
So,
but that's the reason I'm asking is that there's underlying tones beyond that, behind that whole deal, and I was wondering if that was a thing in Ireland, or is it just like, or did nobody not care?
And I didn't because. Back home, you're kind of like structured in your region almost, you know, of where you play. But then when you open it up to there's like big national competitions where it's open to all.
Right.
And there was maybe one game I remember I played up north, and there was a few like comments, but
okay.
Not.
Yeah, I don't want to make it. I mean,
not major,
you know what I'm saying? Because some countries. I mean, my mom grew up in Spain, and during the Civil War there. And later on, during the 60s and 70s, when the country really started to get its act back together, everything was literally connected to the political thing. I mean, it just you couldn't get away from it. Obviously, I mean, they just fought a war. So I didn't. And the thing here is that you start to see articles in newspapers, not so much newspapers, but periodicals for soccer about something going on here, something going on there. I was just curious about it more than
Yeah, well,
anything
even
else.
now they had to cancel the El Clasico, you know.
Right, exactly.
That they
Oh,
rescheduled that,
oh my
you know,
gosh, the
so-
Castilian thing with Barcelona and Madrid, Madon. It's terrible. That's what I'm hoping we never get to that point. That's really, but that's like the heaviest question I'm going to ask. Sorry, thank you. Where am I? University. You come out here, you start playing. It was what's the name of school again?
Young Harris College.
And that's down in Chattanooga. Is that what
It's North
or
Georgia.
North Georgia.
So I went there, played with Paco and Ilya
Right.
for a number of years, and also Lewis Hilton, who was at St. Louis.
Right.
And a bunch of other players came there. So Macaulay King, who's at Indy.
Right.
He played there. So they're a Division 2 program,
Wow.
but just like great coaching staff,
Sounds
and
like
just like he just pulls great players there, you know. And credit to Mark McKeever and Dean Gray there. They've done a smashing job, and hopefully it continues.
Continues.
You know, yeah.
Was there at some point you end up in Louisville? Did they come down and recruit? Did you go check it out yourself? I mean, because USL at that time it was still technically in its infancy, not really.
Yeah.
But, you know, so I'm wondering how, because the process has improved unbelievably over the last 5 years. I'm wondering how that went down.
So after my senior year in college, I was getting asked to come to like certain places and try out and stuff like that. So I only went to one.
Okay.
I went to Richmond.
Okay, Kickers. Mhm.
Yeah, and was there for like 3 days. Thought I'd done really well, but obviously not. The coaching staff, they were like, "No, you're not what we're after." And you don't know, like maybe it was because I was international and stuff like that. So whatever. So they were like, "No," and I was kind of like, "Oh, nightmare," you know?
Right, absolutely.
Maybe you were too good.
So I still had to finish. I was going to finish online or whatever, and then so I went back for the spring semester. Played at Chattanooga for summer, and then I was gonna hit back then in the off season. Then
Right.
so I went back to Young Harris and just kind of help coach and keep like training with the team and stuff to build up for the same thing to happen again. And then James got in contact with the coach and was like, "This team starting in Louisville, we like what we saw in Niall. We just want to get like a closer look. It's not like an open trial. It's like guys we like, but we just want to see how they are up close." And I actually remember a lot of guys who were signed to that first team was at this, you know. So Nate Polak was there, Sean Reynolds was there, Guy Ben, Magnus Rasmussen was there. Adam West was there.
Right.
Oh man. Batman.
There was like a lot of players we signed were at that. So after that, a few days, James was like, "Yep, we'd like you to sign here," and then
That's awesome.
been
Here you are.
ever since.
And 5 years later.
Been here ever since.
Yeah,
so,
it's so cool to see the league mature the way it has.
Yeah.
At least in that manner. It's just
I came in, obviously when Louisville came in, was the first like kind of modern branding of the league and stuff. So to see where it's come even from then till now, it's awesome. I bet like guys like George and stuff who's been in the league longer could give you an even better insight into how that's
it has
changed,
put,
you know?
and that's one of the things I don't know if you guys have been watching, but there's more teams popping up out of nowhere. I mean, all over USL. I mean, there's teams at all three levels. You got the new team in Queens. Or
That's going to be pretty cool.
I can't wait to go to that
Yeah.
game. David Villa, is one of the owners. You got Landon Donovan, right? Who's now, I think he does everything. I think he's going to coach, own it. I think he's going to do concessions.
Doing everything.
He's doing everything at San Diego. Just saw too that Tim Howard is now. Well, I think he was a part owner of the team, but he's going to take over the general manager role at Memphis, and that adds credibility when you've got names of that caliber. Villa is like,
people are going to want to play
kidding?
down there just because he's
Right.
involved. Like,
and they could use. I mean, Memphis could use a little bit of help, but it's just that to have that kind of credibility. If somebody said to you 5 years ago that U.S. National League, and these guys are legends in the United States, are going to be heavily involved in USL, not even the MLS. I mean, who would have thought that? I mean, it just. I think that's amazing. And then you got all the teams like Michigan apparently had some sort of problem with one of their leagues or something, and they're popping up Division or League 2 and League 1 teams. They just announced Grand Rapids today, and there's some other teams as well. So that's kind of cool. So let me ask you a question. You've got you've got the 18 that make it every week, and then you have extra players every now and then. There's so many opportunities for players now with all these teams popping up all over the place. You want to play. Everybody wants to play. How much of a challenge is it with so many more opportunities now to keep a unity in a team like that when you know that they might be able to, this new team in Michigan says, hey, I know you're not playing down there. Why don't you come here this year? You know what I'm saying? Is that, how do you mitigate against that? And is that a big deal right now?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Obviously everybody wants to play and stuff like that.
Right.
And maybe certain situations at different teams might cause some people to maybe just think that they're happy where they are,
Right.
I mean, if you're not playing in I don't know, let's say New York in the winter time versus not playing in Tampa or something like
That's
that.
true.
Some
That's true.
players may get lulled into a false sense of security
Understood.
there and just happy. But here, to be fair, everyone wants to play, and everybody shows up to play.
Mm-hmm.
We have a unreal squad, and you hear it all the time. We trust everyone who comes in. We get some injuries, next man up. We fully believe. I'm fully confident whoever steps up will do a job, because every day in training it's super intense. I see the quality every day. It's ridiculous, So there's some days I'm like, how am I playing? If I had a bad day or something like that, I'm like, oh.
Well, I think if people ask quite one of the things that surprises anybody the most about Louisville City, well, obviously the success, but the amount of injuries the team's had and the amount of and how people pick up. I mean, what would be the? Is there a period you remember maybe over the last 5 years you were like, we only have X amount of bodies on the bench? How are we doing this? Is there any
Yeah, there was one. It's a funny story.
That's why you're here. No.
The very first year we were there.
Yeah, that was.
We had a lot of injuries. I think Cam was hurt. It was a lot, and we played away at Charlotte, and I think I don't remember the exact how it went or whatever, but I don't know whether it was in the team meeting before we headed to the stadium or something like that. But we were I think we had 14 players or something like
Was
that.
that the one O'Connor almost dressed?
And
Here he wanted to.
Yeah, James was I was struggling for bodies, but I believe in you all. But just in case anything happens, I'm here for you. I registered with the league today,
Okay.
and I think Brandon Morris whipped out an O'Connor jersey. So he was, and he had just finished playing maybe 1 year, and he was still joining in sessions and stuff for us. He was still play when we play 5-side and stuff, and you could still see he could still play.
Right.
And it was funny seeing him on the sideline taking us through the warm up and stuff, and you can kind of see the socks and stuff, he's ready to go. But that just kind of shows what kind of man he was. He was ready to help the team, not just by any means necessary.
And that's one of the things we talked about before on this with other people. I remember talking about it with Brad, is that it's the rough times. We talk about leaving Slugger, and obviously leaving Slugger to go to this new facility is amazing. And Slugger is just a tough place for everybody. Mm-hmm. I'm sure it's very, very difficult for you all, and then for the people that are doing the setup with the Coopers and whoever and the Scouse's house. But the thing is that you build memories when you struggle. You build camaraderie and stuff like that, and to me, that's a huge part of. I mean, if everything's hand given to you, so, beautiful facility, beautiful this, beautiful that. I think maybe you might even get to a point where you take advantage of a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. I always think sometimes we're a bit like Rocky when he goes back old school, into Siberia, and you got Drago and all the
oh, I love that.
The top
movie.
of the range machines, But
I love the last Rocky movie, but
we yeah, like we don't.
You talking about Creed, or you talking about
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes,
you're
the last one, the last Rocky movie that they just put out.
Rocky, but not Creed?
No, it was Creed 2.
You are talking about
Creed 2, which is I thought was amazing.
Yeah, but I've liked both the Creed movies.
Sorry, I'm a Rocky
Nah,
freak.
you're good.
I'm
I don't
Italian.
even
Half
know where
Italian.
I
What
was
can I do?
at
And that's what I'm saying. You were
No, I
talking
do.
camaraderie.
Yeah. So like they have like some teams, and it's great that they have these facilities in the league, you know, because again, it adds credibility. You go to like a team like off the top of my head, North Carolina.
Yeah.
Beautiful facility, you know, the field's immaculate, stadium's great, and it just adds credibility. And then for a while there was a lot of like baseball renovations and stuff, and obviously you have to make do with what you can at this point in time. Well, creases are being ironed out to try and get a soccer specific stadium and stuff. So we just kind of dug our feet in and got on with it. It's not ideal how we want to play. It doesn't like lend to our style, and we prefer like a bigger field to play our style and stuff like that. So we just kind of got on with it, and yeah, there's definitely been some good memories and on old Slugger.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. You and then you have so many people that have come and gone that we still all see. You know, Abend, Dakers, guys like that. What's it like playing people that you build that bond with, and then you have to face them in another uniform? What's that like?
It's a little weird because before the game, it's like we talk to them, you know, before like we go in or after warm-ups, we will have like a good talk, and it's great to see them again and stuff like that, and a quick catch up. Or sometimes like if we go up there the day before, we'll go out for dinner with them or something like that. But it's great to see them, and then it's kind of like, I don't know if it's like it's a mentality thing, but as soon as the game starts, it's all out the window.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, it's like, you know, they're trying to do what they can to win, like professional pride and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so
sure.
you just want to win and do whatever you can to win. So if you need to kick somebody, you kick them because you know they'll kick. You know they'll kick you.
Back.
You know.
Right.
So
We may be interrupted in just a moment when I have to let Lincoln know that his mom's on the phone.
Oh, okay.
I have to do dad stuff when we do the podcast.
Of course.
So, and then, obviously, when they go over to the Western Conference, and the setup is still, you know, we're still, the league is in this weird phase where we can't do that kind of stuff. Do you keep up with any of the stuff that goes on the other conference? Does it really matter at all? I mean, you know.
Yeah, I try to keep up with people I know.
Right,
Maybe
Aiden. I know Quinn. I was trying to keep up with what's going on.
Yeah,
He's such a great guy.
Just try and keep up with Quinny and stuff like that. And I know when St. Louis were in the West, I had like friends playing there, so I would like try and keep up with them. And I think I would like to. I think I read Hack. He was saying like that they should do like in this year it would be like Phoenix versus Pittsburgh. You know, the two ones.
That's what we were talking about.
Just as kind of like a league curtain raiser,
a supporter shield type of deal.
Yeah, something
awesome.
just like the charity shield.
Sure.
FA Cup versus the league one. I think it would be great, you know, and you know, a week before the official season or whatever, and it could be in any venue, you know, if you want to have it in Phoenix, or you want to have it in Pittsburgh, or you want to have it down in IMG, or if you're down doing preseason or something like that, do it there, or
exactly,
have it at the home stadium and televise
or do something.
You know?
I agree with you 100%. We talked about that the last show. I mean, the supporter shield thing would be, you know, anything that gives it a little more authenticity and connects it to some of the things that go on elsewhere in the world, to give it a little bit more of that body, a little more body.
We need that all-star.
Because there's not enough like cross-play, you know.
Yeah, and that's I would really love, because I want to go to Las Vegas.
You want to ride it? You want to ride a llama?
Right, yeah, exactly. I want to ride a llama and watch them do whatever they do. I mean, God bless them. You talked about Charlotte. Charlotte now has an MLS franchise. The growth of that league is, and I'm not going to. I'm just going to speak personally for myself. It's just, I can't believe the direction they're taking with that. It seems like it's going way too big, way too fast. But once again, that applies to, you know, some of the players in Division II. I mean, everybody wants to play in a bigger league. Everybody wants to play in a bigger division. Is that something that everybody sort of keeps an eye on? Does anybody care about that stuff? Are they really focused on what they do? I mean, the reason I ask that is because a lot of supporters really spend a lot of time looking at people that play in other parts of the country or are playing in Division I and applying, who plays here and saying they should do this, they should do that. I don't know if I was a player, I'd be more worried about just playing.
Yeah, the only thing is, you'd want to like play at the next level type thing, So if they get more teams, well, they need more players, if you will, and the only, I guess, frustrating part is maybe seeing people going up who you look at and you're like, oh, well, we have better players.
Right, exactly.
That's like probably the most annoying part is like, because for a long time, okay, we won 2 in a row and then we got to the final this time. It's like, what more do some players have to do?
Exactly.
To kind of get, and we've only had like Kyle, Greg, and Mark, was it?
Yeah.
Maybe 2 is because James.
Right. And only if James doesn't go there, exactly.
If James doesn't go there, what happens?
Agreed.
It is hard, like
it is, and that's. I know. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to.
No, it's not hard. Like
right.
It's just like hard to understand because I come from a place where like players go up and
there's connection.
All the time.
There's some sort of
to see such a distance between.
It's not
great.
No, and Sean was on here. Sean Reynolds did this a while ago, and he said it's like this is the only league where you have to know somebody to get a shot, as opposed to just based on performance. If you're playing in the championship, or you work your way up through an academy or through whatever, there's communication all through the system, both horizontally and vertically. And in this country, it drives me nuts when I see players, not just guys on our team, but you see a couple guys on other teams that you just go, how on earth are they not?
You definitely see them, like, especially with independent teams. Like, I think it's maybe being under the eye at like a 2-team or like Real Salt Lake, like Monarchs, and that it's a 2-team or whatever, but to be under the eye every day as opposed to an independent team where I think it's much harder. But there's definitely players to look at and on our team and who have played against who are like, you're just thinking like, should be playing.
Exactly. And I always kind of thought that about Aiden. I was a big fan of his. And I guess you actually touched on something else I wanted to ask. The atmosphere at the stadiums. You mentioned the 2 teams. You mentioned the teams that are connected to MLS teams versus independent teams. And to me, the independent teams, New Mexico. I know Real's not. I don't think they draw that well. Vegas, us. Actually, I thought Hartford did pretty good. I thought that the team that just folded up in Canada, Edmonton, Ottawa. I'm sorry, Ottawa. They seem to have pretty good crowds.
Hartford figured it out.
Yeah,
their FO and
Hartford
stuff figured
is a
it out.
sports team, but that's a sports town. I mean, having grown up in that area, and then they had the Whalers, and they've had other sports there.
Their attendance, you could see it like just gradually go up.
I think it'll be fine.
So they did their marketing right and all that stuff. Yeah.
Do you guys catch any of that? Does that? I mean, I don't. I'm not. Obviously, it's not going to impact your play, but everybody wants to play in a full stadium. When you walk into a ghost town, like you walk into in Jersey, because I grew up out there. I grew up by Montclair State. I literally could bike to it, and you see 500 people there. It's weird.
It's maybe not so much like Montclair because it's like a small facility, but like when we went to
Kansas City, right? Yeah,
and it's like
it's
one of the nicest stadiums.
It is a beautiful stadium.
It's really, really nice. Everything about it, the field is immaculate, and the design of it is it's lovely, but no one's there.
Yeah, when you're up top and you can hear your goalie yelling at you.
Yeah,
like, it's a new experience.
It's not great. It's not the way the game should be played.
Right.
I'd much prefer like Pittsburgh in the playoffs where like, they had a record attendance, like, or when we sent up like what seemed like 1,000 people up to
Indianapolis. That was amazing.
It's great, and other like home you see New Mexico doing a great job selling out and stuff like that all the time, and it looks great, boisterous.
Right.
That's the way it should be. So now we're selling out a lot of sections I'm seeing on Twitter and stuff like that, and I think yeah, I mean, it's going to be the best place to play. Hands down.
That's got to be pretty exciting.
I mean, we were on the field. We were already hands down the most successful team.
Right. Oh.
In the last 5 years, you know.
Absolutely.
And then to have this all of a sudden like for you to play in, it's just gonna be. I can't actually picture it, you know. I can't.
Yeah,
like.
Neither can I.
I'm down at the stadium like a bit, you know, and I just can't picture like.
Right.
I just can't picture it, you know. And it's like you have fantasies, you know. It's like you're out there and you're just looking at. But they didn't. Last time I was down there, I saw they putting in seats today. But
I drove by today and saw it.
I saw like last time I was down there, they didn't have the seats. But I'm looking at it and I'm like, you know, it's hard to imagine this place like full,
filled with
But it's gonna be
absolutely.
Like
I can't wait for opening day.
It's exciting. It's absolutely exciting.
We don't have much longer, man.
We don't.
We've just got to go through that unpredictable Louisville weather, and then
when does the schedule come out? I don't even.
MLS is coming out right now.
Yeah, they announced their home openers now, so I think MLS will come out a couple of weeks, and now they'll get everything.
I guess they wait till after Christmas. Yeah, I don't even know. I usually don't. Yeah.
It's a good move,
but I'm just stunned. I'm always when I drive by. I drove it by today, and finally they're putting chairs in your drive with the lights on, and you're like, it's just so intimate.
It's really cool driving by it at night.
Yeah, like it's great that they leave a couple of lights on, so you can kind of like see it, and then you're just again when I'm driving past it or something, they only have like the 4 corner lights on,
right?
So it has this like kind of like a dull light, and it makes it look great. But then I'm thinking like, you know, when this has all the bells and whistles on it, and it's like it's game day, you know,
man.
Like it's almost like a shame that I'm in the middle of it, you know, that I'm not like I'm not seeing if I'm like the walking bridge or something like that when you'll have like full crowd, you'll be able to hear them from the walking bridge.
Oh, the volume in that place is going to be unbelievable. The acoustics in that place, and we've talked about this 1,000 times. The acoustics when we're playing drums, and you're at a you're at a baseball stadium, and we're playing, and the people on the other side can't hear them very well.
Yeah.
And they'll be listening, and they'll be like, and I'm like, dude, tell me, because what I've been doing now, and I've been doing it for a while, is that I play on the Cooper side for the first half, and I'll go over to Scouse's house.
Have a listen.
Yeah,
and I heard that it's impossible to do.
It's almost exactly
to do coordinated stuff. It's
absolutely impossible because you're talking about 150 yards, and you've got sound that doesn't go anywhere. But it's there.
You'll be able to hear us from the highway.
Oh, you'll be able to hear us in friggin' Lexington. I'm going to hear us in New Albany. And it's impossible because the sound is ambient. It doesn't have any direction to it. It's just like white noise. And when you've got that huge wall behind you of aluminum, and it's just going to take all the sound and just push it forward. It's
just going to
I get goosebumps thinking about it. It's crazy. And
big pressure on you guys now.
I guess pressure on a little bit. Make some noise.
You got to make it amazing.
Okay.
It will be.
I trust you guys.
I can't wait to hear the sound system in that place too.
I've got the 30 inches in my bedroom right now.
You got one. I think they have 40 of them. Right? Jesus. It's just gonna be like the first time they do anything. When they do the first sound check, it's gonna be like check. The place is gonna.
Yeah, it's gonna be nuts, and they have like. I don't know if they've installed the like LED lights or whatever where you can. I
think they just started doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Where you can do the strobe.
So I got to tell you a story.
They have the light panels too. I saw that they've got light panels now.
I hope I don't know if they want. I think they do actually. But as a joke, I said when they announced the partnership with whoever.
Electronic.
Yeah, and then I said as a joke, I can't wait to see those interactive hologram mascots. As a joke.
Oh wow!
Right, and then somebody messaged me and go, "Man, are you serious?" I'm like, come on, man, line up.
Well, they've got those baseball teams where the kid will like try and beat like the thing on the LCD screen. I thought that was fun.
Some people are so obsessed about not having mascots. I mean, when you were go back when you were a kid with the teams that you would watch on TV, did they have them? No, just didn't have any. Right? And people get so wound up with it. And it's like, I mean, I'm not a big fan of mascots, but if I own the team and Freddie the mascot brings in 100 people, come on, Freddie, come on. I mean, you know, what? I'm not going to come to a game because there's a mascot. That's stupid.
I told you we should have a mascot named Boozy, and it's just a big bourbon bottle. His name's Boozy.
Boozy. It just staggers all over the place.
Hey guys,
it just staggers
for a little bit. It just staggers for 15 minutes and then spends the rest of the game just in the corner.
Yeah.
Just sitting down.
Just sitting down, depressed, thinking about life. I got to ask you about that goal in Indianapolis, the first one. I got to ask you a couple of goals, but I want to ask you about that. I've never experienced. First of all, I really didn't experience it. I don't want to talk about it again. But what's it like being on the field for something like that? That's got to be just. It's almost got to be surreal.
Which one?
The goal,
Antoine's?
the first one, the first goal that they to tie
Open
Indy.
nose goal.
Yes.
Yeah. It's. I mean, I never thought we were like out. You know.
Right.
I never thought, because we've came back so many times. Now, granted, like we had a bit more time than we did, you know.
Right.
But I knew we'd like carve out maybe one more like chance. You know, I was looking. They were kind of like time wasting a little bit, and I knew the ref would maybe add on a little bit more than he put up.
Right.
And then we got the corner, and I was like, okay, it's either this or nothing, you know. I was
Right.
and I saw Chris was coming up, so I kind of perched myself in a spot where I think maybe if the defender gets ahead in it, this is gonna be where it's going. And I saw Oscar whip it in, and there was like a flick it to the back, and then I was kind of halfway between Antoine and the goal. I was kind of had like this angle.
Right.
So I didn't have a great angle of where the shot was going to go.
Okay.
And then when he shot it, I'm looking at it like, go past me. And then I see it like going the other side of the post. And I'm like, oh my, it was like.
I've never, honestly, it's just, I mean, I watched it yesterday because I needed to pick me up. Because my sports fan experience right now is the absolute worst thing in the world.
It's dreadful.
Well, I'm an Everton fan, so let's not discuss that.
Well, let's discuss it.
No, I don't want. I'm a Liverpool fan. I'm trying to avoid it as much as possible. And God bless. I hope you guys. I mean, what a squad. But the thing is, as an Everton fan, look, I'm a Giants fan. They're the second worst team in the league. I'm a Devils fan. They're the worst team in the NHL. I'm a Knicks fan. They're the worst team in the NBA. So this is literally like, I literally would stab myself in the throat. But not really. But it's been so hard. I mean, two of the coaches, the Devils coach, Hines, and Marco Silva were filed. Of my three favorite teams in the world that are not Louisville City, two of the coaches got fired in 3 days. That's how bad it's been. But I want to tell you how much I was really impressed with you on the second goal, because after the second goal, you weren't jumping around like a freak. You were encouraging everybody and said, "Let's go, let's go, let's go." I don't know if you've seen that replay.
No, it's actually a funny story.
Go ahead, go.
It's actually like ruining your.
No, okay, I'm ruining the image of this.
Yeah.
Pretend none of that I just said.
In your head, you have this like amazing picture of what I was doing.
Okay,
but it's completely wrong.
Okay, I'm sorry. That's awesome.
It's completely wrong. You
All
see
right.
me like.
Okay.
Yelling, but I was like super mad because when Ownby skipped past Barrett out wide, he stuck his hand out to knock the ball.
Come on. So they were coming. Okay.
He handballed it.
No shit.
But lucky he like palmed it onto Ownby, so Ownby was still able to take it in a stride to go past them. But I mean, games and shit, I knew that Barrett was already on a yellow.
Right. Okay.
So I was like telling them it's a deliberate handball, and
okay. So I could still twist this into a good moment.
Yeah, all right.
Because now I could say, instead of just getting wrapped up in the moment of the goal, you're making sure that everything's being policed correctly on.
Well,
there you go. I
saved
it. I saved the image.
But yeah, I knew we were, as soon as we came out for we scored the goal at the end with Antoine, and then we had the break, and then as we were walking out, I knew we were going to win, because I was looking at them and they were heads down.
Oh, you could see it.
It was unbelievable. And then
it was soul crushing.
After that first goal, when they pan over to the crowd, if you go back and look at the replay, when they pan over to the crowd after the first goal, the insanity that I never experienced anything like that, and I wasn't even in it because I was down
up in the Coopers.
Yes.
With the Louisville City supporters.
Right. It was unbelievable. Go back and look at that replay if you have. Oh my God! Everybody went nuts. Everybody went. I've never experienced a euphoria like that from people, as opposed to the week before with the Pittsburgh thing. I want to ask you about the Pittsburgh goal too. When I'm a huge fan of Paulo, and I always have been.
Legend.
You know, he's such a tough kid, and it's got to be satisfying. I mean, I know you've come back from a couple injuries too. When you come back and have a big moment after an injury like that, that's got to be so satisfying.
I mean, I don't think I've had a moment like Paolo.
Okay.
So soon after I come back from injury or anything like that, but yeah, for him after all he'd been through, I said it to him after the game in the locker room. We were just everyone was kind of like still on a high and stuff, and I was like, I just went over and was like, listen, just buzzing for you, like,
right,
you know,
right.
You could deserved it out the most, you know. He's been through a lot.
Yes,
he thinks
exactly.
he comes back, and then another one happens, and it's like it's really. This is what we do, you know. And when you can't do it, it's like you can go into some bad places.
Right,
you know?
right. No, I hear you.
So I was thrilled for him now. To be honest, it was such a big moment. Just
I was home. I didn't get a chance. I couldn't. I was working. And I was literally in tears. As a fan, I'm like, oh, you know, like, because it was so, as opposed to the weekend. When I heard the goal, see, I'm not going to talk about it again. I missed the goal, the first goal in the Indy game.
I didn't even get to celebrate those goals. I didn't get to celebrate Paolo's winner, and I didn't get to celebrate the second one there.
I hope it knows. But
whenever Joe goes to the bathroom, you guys score game tying goals.
Let me tell you something. Well, anyway, but it's still the absolute the contrast between the two was the Pittsburgh thing for me was just this emotional release. It was just because I was so happy for Paolo. I was so happy for you guys who, you know, I remember the one game last year, you know, being up 2-0 and it ended up in a draw, and just the one team that getting over against Lily of all people, and the way they played ball. I was just so happy for you guys, as opposed to this other thing where I just sat there, was like, did that freaking happen? I mean, it was like one of those, did that just freaking happen things? It was just, anyway, and I'm going to go back to the last regular season game. Have you ever played in a game where the team scored 8 goals? I mean, forget about 8 goals. How about 8 goals after giving up 3 goals first?
Yeah, that was crazy. that was heart attack material. That was, yeah, going down 3-0 that game. Thinking back, like we were down 3-0, but we were still playing such nice football, and I was like, okay, like, no problem.
Right.
Like just because I know the people we have, you know, I know the character of them, I know like the quality of them, and I know that they're not gonna like put their heads down or not like that. We're gonna get more chances. So, you know, if we went 4-0, like, but 3 is manageable, you know.
Right.
You get one and you kind of test, see how they respond, and we managed to get like 3 quick in that first half.
That's as demoralizing as it gets. Like you're up 3-0, and then suddenly you're 3-3 at the half,
and then you come out and you get blitzed.
Oh man!
I mean, it's just I can't even imagine. I can't imagine being on the other side of that. I mean, it's literally just getting bulldozed, and you've got to sit there in somebody else's stadium while everybody's going nuts. And I was in tears at the end of that one too. And I was in tears because you saw everybody. This was the last home game at Slugger, and we had no idea what was going to happen a week after. And you go back to that first game against St. Louis. You know, it was freezing cold, and nobody knew what was going to happen. Nobody really knew. You know, it was
in 2015.
Yeah.
You know,
and you don't know. It's really just an experiment. Everybody knows that. To go from that, to go to this, where the place is practically filled, and everybody's that you've met, and all your friends, and I'm sure you know the people that you've met, the relationships. It's just unbelievable. To see it turn from that to that, I don't know. So I've got the relationships. How much you can get along with somebody personally and not get along with them professionally, or vice versa. You can have a great working relationship with them, but maybe personally, it takes a lot of character to get past that, don't it? I mean, regardless, because look. I mean, I'm not asking anybody about that. I'm just to build those kinds of relationships takes a lot of work.
It does, and there's obviously we play a game where emotions are really high, you know, and it doesn't matter if it's like in training or there's a level of accountability that's held by everybody, you know. So if you're not doing your job, you're gonna hear it from people, you know. Right. So, but everyone leaves that at the front door when training's over, you know. It's like, okay, no problem, and then we get changed, we head home, and we sign on and play Fortnite. And
right.
That's basically awesome. That's basically it.
You guys aren't playing FIFA at all?
No, everyone's like either Call of Duty or
Yeah.
or Fortnite. So yeah, like we'll just train.
Who's the best Fortnite player out of the group?
I think Antoine.
Really?
Oh,
Antoine's pretty good.
Oh, wow.
He seems to have the personality for that kind of thing. He's
Pretty good.
he's a very
He
effervescent
takes
type
it
dude.
very serious.
Does he really? Yeah, I was gonna, you know, that's awesome.
He takes it very serious. Paolo's quite good. Lexi's not good. Although he says he is, but every time you'll be with your group, you know, and then you'll just hear in the headset it'll be Lexi. Oh guys, they're on me. and then I freak out, you know, and I'm like,
Well, he's a defender. He's a defender. He should have a character that's more of a defender.
I turn around and I'm like, I don't see him. And I look at the map, and he's 400 feet away. he's like off doing his own thing, you know. So yeah.
See, I used to do World of Warcraft. I still do that. And I used to do a healer thing, but the pressure of trying to make sure everybody was healthy. After a while, I was like, screw this.
I was always long range DPS.
Were you really? That's what I do now. Yeah. You guys brawl. I'll be over here throwing fireballs at you, and I can't. I've never played Fortnite. I literally have no idea.
It's such a fun game.
Is it really?
It's just I just love it because everyone's on it, you know. So I have like, don't tell Ashley about this, but like I have like because I friends in Ireland, friends here, you know.
Right.
So I have like great like time slots, you know, for when people are on.
Yeah.
Like obviously in the evening time here, but like the evening time there is like midday, you know, 2:00 here. So it's like great. All my friends back home are on. I'll get an hour in or.
It's okay. When he was a baby, I was playing, Modern Warfare.
Yeah.
When he was in his little rocker, just swinging.
I suck at FPS games.
Flying away.
First person shooter games, I suck at. I don't know.
They're hard. Some people are ridiculous. at
Right?
these games. Ridiculous.
I used to travel and play Counter-Strike.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't know. It's definitely not me. But it's great to have most of the squad back.
Yeah, awesome.
That's crazy.
Awesome.
I think a lot of us were surprised about that. I really do.
Why?
Well,
It happens
I
every
don't.
year.
Well, there's some, people, you reach a certain point. Some people 4 years on the same squad. I mean, maybe just for a change or whatever. I guess, but it's amazing to get that many people back. Because of the continuity, whatever. Tell us about if you do know, Corbin, Bone, and somebody just came on today from
Jimmy Ockford.
Yes. Can you tell us about them a little bit?
I know more about Corbin than I do Jimmy.
Okay.
But yeah, both really good. So I'm excited.
Yes.
I think Corbin's sick from playing against him. He's very technical, can play the way we play, and yeah, I'm excited for that. And Jimmy he broke our hearts a bit, didn't he, with his goal?
Yeah.
In Nashville, but
Nashville,
yeah,
right.
he has MLS experience. He's kind of a local. I don't know if he's, I don't know if he's
U of L?
from
I know
Louisville or
he went to
just
Louis-
here.
he went to
I want to say
university,
2000. What's it? I wanna say
20, it was
2012?
2015.
Okay, yeah. that
So
was-
he's been here, so he's good as well. So I'm excited.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Just
pretty
I'm
cool.
excited.
Yeah, but what kind of when you hear about that? Because I'm assuming that you guys don't hear about this stuff in advance. You probably hear it about the same as we do when it comes over social media. Does Coach call like a meeting and he's like, "Hey, we're going to sign this guy"?
No.
Does any of that stuff happen, or is it?
I think we hear about it maybe a little bit before you guys.
That's what I
Right,
figured.
right. Sure.
But your initial reaction, like, are you like? Do you just kind of go, "Oh, okay, Corbin Bone, that's cool." Is that kind of because that's how I would be like.
If you know them if you know how good they are, it kind of depends. If they're an unknown, you don't really know. But someone like Corbin, who's been in the league for a while, and we've seen him play, and we've come up against him a lot, and we know what he can do, then you're like, oh, we've signed Corbin, and it's like, awesome.
Yeah.
Like another great player.
Yeah.
We've talked about this before too. This has to become a premier place to
It's
play.
Absolutely. Like I said earlier, on the field, I mean, you come here to win.
Right.
Like,
Exactly.
If the last 3 years are anything to go by, if you want to win something, you come here.
Right.
Then the crown jewel comes into it next year,
Right.
and you have hands down the best stadium in the USL.
Right. I would argue it's probably going to be a little better than a couple of the stadiums. In
Probably.
MLS.
But like hands down, like the best stadium, we'll have the best field,
Right. With solid support.
and with great support. It'll be full every week.
Right.
They love you.
Right.
And you have a great chance of
Well, the love is there because you guys have earned it. I mean, there's
you have a great chance of winning. So, why would you not want to play here?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's
It ticks all the boxes. Like,
right.
How's the team? Well, they've been great the last 5 years or whatever,
right.
you know? How's the support? Great support.
Right.
All right, check that box. All right, what's the
I guess organization.
field? Yeah, what's the field like, you know?
Sure.
And, okay, up until now, that might have been like...
But right.
We can,
well, that's probably why we never had.
We can deal with that because everything
It's
else
great
is
when
so
it doesn't
good,
rain.
You know?
Right.
We can deal with that because the fans are great and the team's great. We'll just heads down, drive on.
Mm-hmm.
But now, it's just a different ball game altogether. I think it's
right. When you start talking about production and television and stuff like that, I mean, one of the things that's been holding back, I think, has to do with appearance matters. People could talk about quality is quality. But in a world, we live in an audio-visual world, and the visual part matters. And when you play on a stadium, it's in a baseball field, maybe the grass. Number one, I can't imagine it must have been amazingly difficult to try and get friendlies going on here. And now with this field, not only the possibility of bringing in some top-notch friendly competition, but matches for in that stadium that maybe aren't even Louisville City matches that any soccer fan would want to come watch.
Can you imagine preseason, like when we play? What's the one college that we play every year? Young.
my college.
Yeah,
Is it?
Yeah, that's how we got that.
Oh, that's
every
right.
year.
That's right. So I don't. Preseason is
Yeah,
like.
it was
I'm
like a reward for giving us me, Paco, and Ilya. You know, there you go.
Could you imagine? I assume that all these teams that were playing exhibition games at the beginning of the year, like for the last few years, they're going to be calling us. Hey, can we just come up and play at your place instead
People
of?
going to be knocking on this door.
Yeah.
We don't have to knock on anybody else's
If
door.
we're still going to do that exhibition, can we just come up there?
Or even
I mean,
some-
that's what's awesome about it. Like the possibilities. Like I'd love to see, full house for high school.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Also,
A final.
tournaments.
Because back home, as a schoolboy, when you get to a final, you'd always play at not like the national. We have like a national stadium,
Right.
but like a professional team stadium. Whether it be like Dalymount or Richmond Park or something like that. But you always play at like a professional team stadium, and it was such a big. I mean, I was like 10 years old or whatever, but it was such a big, such a big deal,
Mm-hmm.
So I think like for having like high school boys and girls like finals, this is where it's going to be played.
Absolutely.
And then obviously the job will be on you guys and to come out and like support like
Absolutely.
local football or state football. It's like awesome. And then I don't know going forward, why not have national team?
Exactly.
Maybe not like
Maybe that's the men's. But the women's, I think we could put in there. 15,000.
Women would sell out no problems.
Right,
And then
right.
even as far as like some under 23 games or
Yep.
maybe some under 17s.
Youth games.
I think the possibilities are just endless, and then obviously you see a lot of teams playing Premier League teams or something when they come over. I've seen like George was telling me they play like West Brom and stuff like that. So yeah, the possibilities
Pretty endless,
Endless.
especially this early. And I was going to ask you too. It's not only just the building, but also the academy, the structure of the organization. Will they either volunteer or the expectation of the players on the team to be part of the academy system as well and helping out with that, or is that just something that you would do anyway? Or
I think players are just doing it. Like right now, players are doing it.
Right.
So Mario's obviously the guy,
Mario
but
Sanchez.
there's a lot of players who want to go into the coaching after they stop playing and stuff. So they're coming down, watching training, helping out with training. Sometimes they're like joining in training, just like giving some advice to the kids and stuff. And we've had some of them come and train with us in the summertime when they're off school and stuff. They'd come and practice with us. I know like Elijah was in quite a lot. A couple of other kids were in, and it's kind of the way it should be,
Right.
Because I remember when you're young and you're down, the first team's down numbers, is you're kind of hoping to get that like call from
Sure,
text from the
sure,
coach,
sure.
and I was like, oh, you're not training much today. You're with with the first team.
That's a part of it, is that this territory, it's just starting to bear fruit, and to be a part of it at where you're at, and the role that you've played. I mean, that the performance on the field has obviously got to be, it's got to be you're really proud of what you've done on the field, but being part of everything else around it, that's got to bring a pretty big source of pride as well.
Yeah, I mean, looking at from where we were to where, and that's from everybody, I mean, the only thing is the trophies, but like everything else, like is everybody, it's so awesome to see how far it's come. Yeah. But even like I look back, I remember the first game like St. Louis, and the support was like, it was great. I know they were saying it was more than what we
anticipated,
and that was at the time when March Madness was going on, and
right.
It was freezing, so they were like really like pleased with how it was, and then just to see it grow every year, it's been awesome. And now they cap it all off with an amazing stadium that they deserve, So
I guess the only other thing I wanted to ask you is, now that you've you've become such a part of this community, a few years from now, I mean, everybody has a last day playing. Are you starting to think about that, or not really? I mean, you shouldn't
really
be in a way.
I mean, I think
enjoy it, live for the day, but
yeah, I think like I've invested too much time into football to not continue with football in some capacity, So, I like to think that maybe I know a little bit about it, so maybe I can help, like, in some capacity, whether it's coaching or, I'm not saying like Louisville or wherever, but
right,
like,
sure.
Just I think I've invested too much of my time in the game to not give a little bit back.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about it.
I can't imagine. It seems like people, once they get wrapped up in playing, they don't want to stop. I mean, I it seems stupid to even think about it. Right? I mean, did you have anything else, or I don't want to?
I do. I got a question from chat.
Sure.
So I've Tunguska 88. I'm not sure who that is. So he's going back to new players and stuff. And I was curious about this too. So obviously, you've got a guy coming in, and it was just hypothetical. Anybody really? They're coming in from out of town. They're coming into a new environment, new people. Do you guys have any kind of a like a welcoming type deal? Is there like some kind of a routine that you all have for new guys when they come in, or is it just business as usual?
Program of some sort?
No,
just sort of.
Really?
I mean, as soon as they come in, we're lucky with the people we have. Everyone's like, honestly, the group is great.
Yeah. So
when someone comes in, it's just like straight away. I know, talking about Antoine and stuff, when he came, it was like, he was like, this is great. Everyone's just, it's like I've been here for a long time already. So as soon as someone comes in, everyone really, really goes out of the way to make them feel like they've been here forever, So I think we do a good job at making people settle in really fast and kind of ease them.
How long before you ask for their gamer tags?
Oh, that's straight away. That's straight away. That's like, it's like, well.
So you play Fortnite?
It's like, well, after training, we're getting on, or in the group chat, or whatever, that WhatsApp group that we're in. It's like, all right, we're signing on. And it's like, all right.
Do you get people recognizing you when you go to stores or anything like that, or?
Sometimes. Yesterday I was actually in the mall, and somebody was walking opposite. It was a lady. I don't know. Maybe I know it happened so fast, and she was just like, "Go City, well done, Niall." And I was like,
"That's got to be a little weird, right?" I mean, when you think about it from a few years ago, it's got to be a little.
It is, but it's like, it's awesome at the same time. It's like, it's just great that people are taking a notice in the team, and sometimes like at different like levels of sport, where like NBA or something, like sometimes like players seem like inaccessible.
Yes, right. Absolutely.
But like, we're not. It's like,
no.
It's nice to have.
Never. I've never experienced a moment with any of the players ever where it felt like, dude, what are you doing? It's like, It's just, and then people could be overbearing. That's just in general.
Could you imagine if we signed somebody like Rooney and he walked around like
Yeah.
the only place that he would get
Can you imagine
recognized-
going up to Ibra?
They would recognize Rooney on Bardstown Road. That's pretty much like everybody would see him on Bardstown Road. Oh my God, it's Wayne Rooney. But anywhere else,
Anywhere
like
else
if he
it
was
would
at
be.
like St. Matthew's Mall,
Sure,
it's just
sure.
a guy.
But it's amazing because it is starting to spread out a little bit more into the other parts of the county, and that's the one thing about Louisville. So it's small enough where you've got the center of the city, which is very urban. It's turning and it's getting much more urban. It's much more urban than when I first moved out here. And then but the suburbs are so close.
Right.
It's not like New York City. New York City is like city. You're just surrounded. Even places like Indianapolis. Indianapolis has this huge urban area that, that you don't have here, which makes it really intimate. I really dig it. Hey man, you want to ask us anything? You can. Is there anything? No.
Far away. Any more questions? Or whatever?
I'm sorry. I hope I didn't bury you with questions, man.
No, I
apologize.
enjoy it. It's fun, like, because sometimes fans or whatever, they don't kind of get an insight, or they have a limited insight into what
Right.
it's like,
Mm-hmm.
And even me, like, I can't give you like a great description of how like
Sure.
it is inside the locker room or
Sure.
whatever, but just know it's great, like,
Right,
it's
right.
hard to like say how good it is and how much fun we have. It's like hard, like I can say it, but it doesn't do it justice.
Sure. And that's the reason why we started doing this, was because we wanted to create something like, we've had Brad on here. We've had, a lot of people, thankfully. Thankful for everybody that's been on it from the front office and everything. And the reason was to give give other people a chance to get to know everybody a little bit more, without getting into. So, what was it like playing? Would you rather play this position or that position? There's value in hearing that from somebody, but hearing, like, for example, from your home and finding out some of the things that went on, whatever, when you were playing as a young kid, and trying to relate that to the culture here. That's the kind of stuff I don't think a lot of people talk about too much. And I try not to be too stoic or asking people questions. So I hope you didn't feel like I was just burying you with stuff. But
so I've got a few things. So I've got some fun stuff for you. You might think
from you or from the chat.
I've got some stuff for you, and people might think this is funny. So one of my favorite things about your play style is your theatrics. When opposing players do things and you openly mock them on the field, and I know you probably won't admit to doing it.
I do it a lot,
but some of the stuff that you've done has had me in
falling
made my
backwards,
stomach hurt.
The falling backwards thing this year was pretty freaking hilarious.
Oh man, and it's just I love your I can't call it tenacity. It's funny how comical it is. But these guys that are trying to like get one over on the ref, and you don't let them do it, and just make light of the situation is amazing to me. So
good.
Like, it was so good. Like the falling on the back thing was one of the most amazing things ever.
He pushed me hard.
He gets what he deserves.
And then do you have I know a lot of players have rituals and stuff that they do. Like, do you have any like pregame rituals that you do? Like, are you superstitious at all? No,
absolutely
nothing.
not.
Just show up.
Yeah.
I think whatever will happen because
Right.
of me and the
Yeah.
lads. I don't think it will. There is maybe one thing. I don't know if you've seen us warm up or anything like that. When we warm up, we'll go kind of near the corner flag, and we'll be all like on the end line doing our like bits and bobs.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I like to be the third one.
Really? See, there's always
I
something.
knew there was something. There had to be something.
But
Is it
for
just
no other reason that it's just the way it's always been.
right?
Like, I don't like, but if I was to like go somewhere else, no problem.
Right.
But
Okay,
that's
right.
just the way it like lines up.
See, we don't
Just
do
the way it's got to be.
I think I was put there because other people had their ritual. To be honest,
I got you.
I think like because I know Paolo and George, they like to be at the end, and then like the others at the other end, they like to be there. So I think it was like, well, I guess I'm here, you know. So it was like my own like adopted spot. But that's like the only one. I don't have any other ritual or superstition or nothing. I don't believe in it.
See,
God, I had so many things
have
that I
so
used to
many of them.
do
I
that
can't
was
believe it.
looking back, it was so ridiculous.
and I
Like,
didn't have them a few years ago. Now it's just like I'm pathetic. I have to wear the exact same thing when I do the national anthem. I have to drive the exact same roads. It's so stupid.
I do
It's
the
stupid.
road thing.
I
I
know
do the
it's
road
stupid.
thing.
But that's what's great about sports.
Yeah.
And
I
like
do the road
and
thing.
sports fandom. It's like whether you have like, your lucky socks or you dress the same. Like it's great that people have that. You know, it's like they hang their hat on that, and it's great. Like I love to see it. Like
Just never do the "I'll never wash this" thing.
No, I don't do that. That's ridiculous. I couldn't do that.
My lucky shirt that I
to wash
never
everything.
washed.
So anybody that comes on, we always let them sort of have an open mic for a minute. If there's anything you want to say about anything, I mean, please go right ahead. Or not. It's just, but if there's anything you'd like to share or
no, not really to share or anything like that. Just a big thank you to everybody for the season. I know it didn't end the way we wanted, and that's on us. It was the game should have been over after 25 minutes. Something we'll learn from and hopefully get back to that glory that we had for 2 years. But yeah, just a big thank you for the support all year, and I look forward to seeing you at the new stadium. And
absolutely,
it's gonna be immense. So
It's gonna be insane.
spread the word, like let everyone know, because we need it. Like it makes a big difference when it's loud and it's packed. It makes a big difference.
Sure does. And I've said this on this deal, and I've said this several times. You know, eventually they'll put a Ring of Honor sort of deal on this Louisville City Stadium, and the first three names have to be Wayne, James, and you.
Well, I don't know about that.
No, I do. No. I don't. I mean, I hope you understand the impact you have on the culture here. I mean,
I actually don't.
but you
just,
should.
I just,
you know, and I know you're being humble about it, and you shouldn't in a way, but you have a lot. I mean, you're the person that spoke to the team in the last game. You spoke to the fans after the last game at Slugger. There's a reason for that, and I can't. I just want you. I know you're not going to internalize it and make it prideful. I just know that. I hope you understand. I hope you understand how much you mean to us. I mean, you really do.
But it makes us all, like, when I hear stories of how you all felt when the goal went in, and how you never experienced like a euphoria like that.
Right.
But that's why, you know. That's why. That's why.
I had to watch that game from my
That's
apartment.
why I love like doing it. You know, that's why we play to win.
Right.
It's like obviously it's great for us because we're super competitive and we want to win. And when we don't win, it's the worst thing. When we do win, it's great for us, you know. But then when you hear how it's making like everyone else so happy,
Right.
you know, it literally like makes people so happy.
Mm-hmm.
Like not just like for a specific. Everyone can remember specific moments stuff like that. So Antoine's goal, a lot of people are saying it was like they never
surreal.
It was like
really
they never
was.
had
It was a
anything like that,
surreal
you know?
moment in my life. It literally, and I've been around. I've done a lot of stuff in a lot of places. Maybe not some of them I want to talk about, but it was literally a true surreal moment in my life. I was just like,
Yeah.
what the hell is going on here?
And there's other moments that like okay, maybe a big win that we had. So maybe like when we beat Cincy
5-0, yeah.
Although the game was over like with 10 minutes to go, but when we win, it's like it's another great moment, and people still talk about it with like their kids or something like that. So it's great to be able to be a part of people's stories. You know?
Absolutely, amen. And I think you know what, and on a much, it's a much different thing when people start talking about the supporters or they talk about the drumline. It's the same deal. I mean, for me, it is. I mean, obviously, it has nothing to do with playing, but when people say, "Man, I love coming to the games." Because and the drums and whatever. I mean, it's part. It just becomes part of it. It's a story, and it's so nice to be a part of it. And I can't believe the impact this thing has had on my life. I really
because I mean, if I'm thinking like as a dad or whatever, he takes his kids to the game. They're young kids, you know. Maybe they're just getting into soccer. They may not understand everything that's happening on the field, but like they love. Okay, when we score, there's a big cheer. You know, they love that. The kids will love that. They will love hearing the drums.
Right.
They love seeing the smoke, and that's all them to like you guys. You know, like that's like the atmosphere that we can only do so much. We can't like cheer. We can't be loud. You know, we're doing so for you guys to be able to do what you do and create such a good atmosphere for people to come and enjoy a game, and it's a great place to bring their kids and I've seen like young like guys in their 30s. Okay, they follow soccer, you know, and then but they bring their own dad who's been more of a like
absolutely
not a soccer guy, you know, but it's great to see that they're making like, and I see stuff online and stuff, and it's great that they're making memories around the team, around like the sport.
It becomes part of the culture, sort of like the basketball team on a much smaller, you know, because Louisville basketball is Louisville basketball. or derby is derby, but it's another notch. It's another sort of a hill that we can grow stuff on.
And I'm looking forward to it, like even growing like in the future, and really like people talking about it like in the same breath as, Louisville football or something like that, because I think it will. I think it has absolutely the potential to explode.
And we haven't even scratched it. I really don't think so. There's going to be periods. There's going to be like moments of where the chart, it's going to do like a step. It's not just going to go. It's not going to be an arc. It's going to be, we're going to be here and then something, boom. The next, like with the NWSL thing.
Yeah.
The NWSL side just adds a whole nother layer to it. And as we continue to do that, I think it's going to be amazing.
It's great. And I can't wait to see how it goes. I know like the songs and stuff that you sing, and I can't wait just a whole stadium.
I got to ask you, are there any songs that you heard that that you're like, oh, I really like that tune? Because
there was the one at the end you guys done. It was really, it sticks out in my head. It was like when we're winning, it's like final minute, and you guys.
Ollie.
No, that's all.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love that.
Great.
Yeah.
Like, because that's kind of like, obviously we're in the hype of the game and stuff. We're not really noticing.
Of course, right.
But it's kind of like when you hear that song, it's like, all right, we've almost done it.
Right, exactly.
And okay, it could be like 3-0 or it could be 1-0, but you kind of like hear that and you're like, all right, you're nearly there.
Right.
And that's one that's
cool.
out. And I've liked walking out to the
Kentucky.
song,
To the Mile Kentucky home.
Yeah.
Man, I don't even want to. I'll start crying if I start thinking about that the first game.
But that's what
That's
I
gonna
want.
be
I want it to
crazy.
be like, I want the whole stadium,
Sure.
everyone in on it.
And it's almost a little bit of a reset too, because we've gotten used to doing certain things like in the parking lot and blah, blah.
Yeah.
So we're almost resetting everything from a culture perspective, because now we have no idea what's going on. We really have no idea what's going to go on with that, and watching that rebuild. So, you got anything you want to finish with?
No, I don't think. I think we've covered quite a bit. Like
Yeah, I mean, it's
talking about this stadium. I'm like, man,
yeah.
Woo.
And I thank you for
That's gonna
sticking
be a
around,
day.
man. Thanks a lot. I appreciate you coming by. Hopefully, you'll do it
Thanks, man.
again. I mean, hopefully, tell your friends.
George didn't come in. But no,
Yeah, really appreciate it.
it's awesome. It's fun.
Yeah, man.
It's not. It's very. If anyone's thinking about coming on, it's very casual. It's fun.
Yeah, we'll try and get a couple other people, but I do have one thing I want to share before we split. We always try and do like a little bit of a rim shot that's a little bit serious. I've talked to a couple people recently, and this seasonal depression thing is a real thing. It really is.
Yeah.
So if you're dealing with that, I mean, I've been very open about that I deal with that on a basis. It's part of my life. I learned how to deal with it. But there's some people out there that maybe you're afraid to not do that. Please don't. You can reach out, get some help, do something. I mean, don't listen to the voices. The voices ain't real. I mean, it really is. Please, if something like that's going on in your life, you would start talking about this Louisville City community. There are people that can actually professionally help you. A couple people in this drumline that are, we've had doctors and whatever. But there's always somebody. Please don't do that. Please feel free to reach out. There's always hope to do stuff like that. Looking forward to Christmas in a couple weeks. Niall, once again, thank you so much for doing this.
Anytime, fellas, anytime.
And I guess that's about it. It's really been a lot of fun, and we'll see you again in a couple of weeks, everybody. Thank you.
We'll be back. Wait, we're coming back next Thursday, right?
No, 2 Thursday. We're back on the 19th.
19th.
The 19th.
Okay.
We will be back on the 19th.
We'll be back on the 19th.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.